Hello children, welcome in online class. Today we'll continue chapter number 10, Respiration in Organisms, part 2. Children, first of all, we'll discuss about respiratory system in human beings. Respiratory system consists of nostril, nasal cavity, trachea, lungs, bronchi, bronchiole and alveoli. Now let us discuss about them. So children, opening through which air is taken in, that is through nostril. Our nose has two holes which are called nostril, and fine hair present filter the air taken in. Our nasal cavity, where air reaches through the nostril, air enter through nostril, get warmed and moisten and nasal cavity. From nasal cavity, clean, moist and warm air passes into the trachea or windpipe. The trachea branches into two thinner tubes called bronchi, which enters the lungs. The bronchioles have tiny air sacs at their ends called alveoli. So children, these are different organs present in our respiratory system, and all of them have some specific function. Breathing is a continuous process which goes all the time. We take in oxygen and give out carbon dioxide. Now let us discuss about them. Children, as we have discussed that our nose has two holes which are called nostril. There is a passage in the nose behind the nostril called nasal cavity. As the air passes through this nasal cavity, it becomes warm. From the nasal cavity, the clean, moist and warm air passes into the trachea or windpipe. The trachea branches into two thinner tubes called bronchi, which enters the lungs. Children, after entering the lungs, each bronchus divided to form a large number of smaller tubes called bronchioles. The bronchioles have tiny air sacs at their ends called alveoli. The walls of alveoli are very thin and surrounded by very thin blood capillaries. The air from the trachea through the bronchi and bronchioles finally enters the alveoli. Now children, let us discuss about mechanism of breathing in human beings. Children, breathing takes place with the help of the intercostal muscles between the ribs and the diaphragm. During inhalation, when we breathe in, the intercostal muscles contract, and at that time the ribs are pushed upward and outward, and the diaphragm contracts and moves downward. Children, during exhalation, the ribs moves downward and inwards. The diaphragm relaxes and moves upward to its original position. This is the actual position of diaphragm when we breathe out, and when we breathe in. So children, here in the picture we can see that during inhalation the diaphragm contracts and moves down, and the rib cage expands as rib muscles contracts. And during exhalation the diaphragm relaxes and moves up, and the rib cage gets smaller as the rib muscles relax. So in this way breathing takes place in human beings. Now let us discuss about respiration in other organisms like grasshopper, frog, earthworm, cockroach and fish. So children, as we can see that insects like grasshopper have a respiratory system consist of a network of thin air tubes called trachea, spread into the whole body of the insect. These air tubes have tiny openings called spiracles. Oxygen-rich air enters the body through spiracle and carbon dioxide from the cell goes into the tracheal tube and moves out of the body through spiracle. So, here we can see that how oxygen enters in and carbon dioxide comes out through spiracle. Now children, let us discuss about respiration in frog. Frog live both on land and in water. Frogs have a pair of lungs like human being to breathe on land. In water they breathe through their moist skin. Children, if breathing through skin is taking place, then that type of respiration is called as cutaneous respiration. Now let us discuss about respiration in fish. Fish has a special organ of breathing called gills. The fish breathes by taking in water through its mouth and sending it over the gills. Gills are well supplied with blood vessels. So children, here we can see that the blood vessels of the gill extract dissolved oxygen from water and send it to all parts of the body. Carbon dioxide is brought back by the blood into the gills for expelling into the surrounding water. Now, let us discuss about respiration in plants. Children, the leaves of the plants have tiny pores called stomata. In plants, roots take in air present in the soil. The breakdown of glucose in the plant cell is similar to that in other living organism. So children, I hope you understood today's topic. Your homework is to read the topic taught today.